Finds himself running from the law. We'll explain why in our Crime Tracker 11 report.
Plus, excessive heat and the Yuma wetlands didn't prove to be a good combination. Hear more about how a fire sparked in the area.
Today is Thursday, July 24th, and Sunrise starts right now.
Live from KYMA Studios, this is News 11 Sunrise, your #1 source for news in the desert Southwest.
Well, good morning, Desert Southwest.
Thanks for joining us today.
Joey is not off, but he is on assignment, and you guys will want to pay attention to what he has to tell you in just a little bit. But for right now, let's go ahead and start with weather. Right now,
And the Yuma Fire Department wants to make sure everyone is taking the proper procedures to stay cool this summer. News 11's Heather Yako has the details.
With temperatures increasing, it's
long sleeves, a hat, and sunscreen, so preferably something with a UV protection.
A few key ways to stay safe in these hot temperatures are to stay in a conditioned place when possible and out of the sun. Keep in cool areas, and of course, to always keep that water bottle handy.
17 Yuma firefighters responded to a fire in the wetlands earlier yesterday. The Yuma Fire Department says a fire spread to a condemned house on the 1500 block of Colorado Street. They also say fire heat and multiple explosions at the back of the structure. The cause is still under investigation.
And early Sunday morning, yet another Circle K became a target.
Yuma police officials shared surveillance images of the incident, saying they need the public's help to identify the man responsible. News 11's Nico Santos reports.
Another Circle K in Yuma takes a hit after
like this. No one was hurt in the robbery. A $1,000 reward is offered for information leading to an arrest.
And Blythe police officers arresting a man stealing aluminum siding from a building before 6:30 yesterday morning. 46-year-old Anthony Grego Jr. was pushing a shopping cart with the aluminum after investigating. Officers found he matched the description of a suspect who sold copper wire to a local recycling business. Grego may be possibly linked to another theft of copper wire from a different business. He's being charged with petty theft and stealing or selling stolen property. If you know anything about this case, please call Blythe Police at 760-922-6111.
Mariano Florentino Cellular, one of Calexico's homegrown has more success.
And his recent appointment as a California Supreme Judge has Calexico beaming with pride. News 11's Milrose Bosco has the story.
Because they were readily available and cheap in relation to street drugs. And Yuma Proving Ground helps troops in the line of fire by making sure their equipment is ready to go.
And early this morning, they tested mine clearing line charges, or MCLC for short.
3, 2, 1.
Yuma Test Center is testing their mine-clearing line charges, also known as MCLC.
It's 1,750 pounds of C4, and it's designed to clear a 100-meter path through a minefield.
MCLC is used for suspected threats in the roadway, keeping American forces safer.
So it's really just making sure that it properly detonates in accordance with, the test procedure.
What we did today was a lot acceptance test, or what we call an LAT, for the mine clearing line charge, or MCLC for short. And the purpose of that test was to see if the manufactured item deployed and detonated successfully.
Yuma Proving Ground is able to test 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We test various sorts of mines that are fielded in the military, as well as demolitions. This would be an example of a demolition.
I was in the Marine Corps. We used him in Operation Desert Storm to breach through 2 Iraqi-laid minefields. You know what that's called? It's called freedom. Write that down.
Molly Lang, News 11.
The MCLC testing is done periodically at YPG to constantly enhance the capability of assisting the troops overseas.
Well, today you may notice an increase in aircraft volume coming from Marine Corps Air Station Yuma. Officials say an AV-8B Harrier is practicing for Seattle Marine Week. A Level 3 demonstration is required for Harrier pilots prior to the actual performance. Now, the practice is today from 7 to 8 a.m. And coming up in Sunrise Sports, hopes are running higher for the U of A football team under the helm of Rich Rodriguez. We'll tell you what their great preseason concern is during Pac-12 Media Day.
Thank you so much, Kelly and Molly. I'm entering the names that were in the box that Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros into the drum here, and after the break, I'll be able to pull the name for that first person that's going to have a chance to win that $100 in free gas. So it's Free Gas Thursdays. We're out here at Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros off of 4th Avenue. We have one more week of this. I'll tell you how you can enter to win or have a chance to win here, as well as my full 8-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. So stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm going to pull the first name for the chance to win $100 of free gas. We're out at Ed Whitehead Tire Pros this morning off of 4th Avenue. And every Thursday for the last 4 weeks, we've been pulling names. And
Coming up on Sunrise, critics are saying it's another botched execution, this time in Arizona. We'll have the details.
Plus, people in the Netherlands continue to mourn as more remains continue to arrive from the Malaysian flight that was shot down over Ukraine. We'll have the latest. And today is
KYMA Studios. This is News 11 Sunrise, your #1 source for news in the desert Southwest.
Good morning, everyone.
Thanks for joining us here on Sunrise.
Today it's me and Molly. We're having a girls' day on the desk, and Joey, he's actually out at Ed Whitehead's Tire in Yuma. He has something special going on there. Let's go ahead and send it right out to Joey and see what he has going on. Hey,
Mic
Joey.
check 1 2 1 2 3. Thank you so much, Kelly and Molly, and we're going to pull another name. He didn't call, so we're going to pull another name. I'm going to close this real fast and spin it around a couple times so nobody thinks I'm trying to cheat or anything. So, you get a chance to win $100 of free gas. Who doesn't want that? And the way you do it is you have to sign up at one of the 3 locations of Ed Whitehead Tire Pros. You can come to the one here on 4th Avenue. You can go to the one out off of 32nd Street, or you can go out into the Welton area. You could also go to kyma.com and click on the banner on top of our webpage, and we'll put it in there for you, just like I did this morning. All right, so the second chance here this morning, I think that says, I think it says, it might say Tony Altman. I can't read the first name. They're writing, their penmanship's not the best, but Tony Altman, I think that's your name. You have 11 minutes to call that number on your screen. So if your last name's Altman and might be close to Tony, might be Tui, I don't quite know because it doesn't look like anything there. But anyways, let's give you a chance to win $100 in free gas. We have one more week of this, so hopefully we get that winner today. If we don't get this person to call, I'll pull another name right before the end of the show, so make sure you're watching because we will have another chance. I'm going to have 3 chances today if this person doesn't call. I'll have your full forecast for you in just a little bit. Also, warm temperatures, really not much to talk about as well. So back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thanks, Joey. Critics are saying it's another botched execution, the third to make headlines since January, and this time it's in Arizona.
Kurt Gregory has more.
Witnesses say condemned inmate Joseph Rudolph Wood gasped for more than an hour and a half during his execution Wednesday night in Arizona. He was finally pronounced dead almost 2 hours after it began.
To watch a man lay there for an hour and 40 minutes, gulping air, I can liken it to if you catch a fish and throw it on the shore, the way the fish opens and closes its mouth.
He was, clearly struggling for breath, and that's atypical because, as I said, usually an execution takes 10, 11 minutes, and you see virtually nothing.
It was the first time such a drug combination had been used in Arizona. But it was the same combo used in Ohio in January, where Dennis McGuire took nearly 25 minutes to die. Back in Arizona, Governor Jan Brewer is promising a full review. Wood was sentenced to death for the 1989 murder of his girlfriend Deborah Dietz and her father. The victim's family said the focus should be on the crimes, not his death.
What's excruciating is seeing your dad lying there in a pool of blood, seeing your sister lying there in a pool of blood. That's excruciating.
To me, it looked like he was sleeping, he was snoring. That's what I saw. And then he passed away. So how is that suffering?
Another controversial execution, one sure to add to the growing scrutiny over lethal injections across the country. Kurt Gregory, NBC News.
The House Committee on Veteran Affairs is holding another hearing on problems within the VA medical system. Acting Veteran Affairs Secretary Sloan Gibson is testifying as the VA system tries to deal with allegations of mismanagement. Thousands of veterans across the country had to endure lengthy treatment delays, sometimes resulting in death. Gibson said before that the VA has created a culture where employees are afraid to raise concerns for fear of retaliation. He also said the department has failed to hold management accountable for wrongdoing. Gibson vowed to restore trust in the system.
And federal officials and child safety advocates are speaking out to warn parents about the dangers of leaving their children in hot cars. At least 17 children died of heat stroke in vehicle deaths across the United States so far this year. 10 of them died just within the last 6 weeks. An average of 38 children have died in hot cars each year across the country since 1998.
People in the Netherlands are mourning today and waiting for more remains to arrive from the Malaysian flight that was shot down over Ukraine.
Tracy Potts has the latest on the investigation and who's now claiming responsibility for 2 more jets shot down there yesterday.
NBC News has not authenticated this YouTube video. In it, you can see the flaming wreckage of 2 Ukrainian fighter jets shot down Wednesday and what's believed to be Russian separatists claiming responsibility. Ukraine says the pilots ejected safely. It's the 3rd incident in a week.
Who put their finger on the trigger? We still need to find that out. Responsibility lays at the feet of President Putin.
Lawmakers want President Obama to impose tougher sanctions on Russia.
We need to be targeting their energy sector.
Once you publicly state to the European people, this is what Vladimir Putin did, then I think you're going to see a groundswell of support.
We are very willing to be engaged here.
Investigators are getting better access to the crash site of Malaysia Flight 17.
But on the site, it's still clear that nothing is happening without the approval of the armed rebels who most likely brought the plane down in the first place.
The State Department says up to 100 victims may still be missing. Malaysia says it could be months before they're recovered.
Yes, I'm angry and I want full access.
In the Netherlands, 40 wood coffins arrived. Thousands lined the 60-mile route across the Dutch countryside. The youngest victim was just 8 years old. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
The annual Back to School Rodeo is just days away. At least 1,500 families participated in past years.
This year, the city of Yuma wants to make the Back to School Rodeo bigger and better than ever. Here's a preview of what you can expect this weekend.
We have binders, paper, notebooks, pencils, erasers, everything you can think that a kid might need. We're trying to get it in there.
In just a few days, hundreds of local kids in Yuma will have the chance to get the school supplies they need to head back to school. Employees with the city of Yuma stuffed 500 backpacks with everything from paper to markers and pencil sharpeners, all for their annual Back to School Rodeo.
For something like this gives every single kid an opportunity, a fair chance to, get the supplies they want and, be able to achieve whatever they want in school.
The event is sponsored by community partners who donated more than $3,000 for all of the goodies used to stuff the bags.
That is just a testament to how people come together here, and especially when it's for the kids. And we know how expensive school supplies can be, and this is just another way, another opportunity for families to get a little bit of help to get them, back to school too.
Door prizes will be given and over 70 community vendors are expected to attend. It's all part of the city's way to get kids excited about getting back in the classroom. The Back to School Rodeo is this Saturday at the Yuma Civic Center from 8 a.m. until noon. It is a free event, but only the first 500 students will get the free backpacks filled with school supplies, so you want to make sure that you get there early. The KYMA News team will also be there, so come out and say hi after you grab your school supplies.
And when economic times get tough, we're all looking for ways to save a few dollars. And one way to do it is to go to warehouse or membership stores.
But just because something in this store doesn't make it a deal, Money reporter Stacy Johnson has the 5 best deals.
When it comes to everything from gas to groceries, Americans love warehouse clubs. According to CNBC, more than 120 million of us have memberships.
And those memberships cost money, $40 to $100 a year. And just because something is sold in bulk and displayed on a pallet doesn't necessarily make it a great deal. What are the best deals at warehouse stores?
Well, that's going to depend on who's doing the shopping. There are some standout categories. One example, alcohol, with the greatest savings coming on high-end, expensive stuff. Added bonus, most states allow you to buy alcohol without paying for a membership. Next, dairy products, especially milk, butter, and eggs. Savings can average around 20%. The picture may also be brighter on electronics. And compare warranties, they may be longer here than at mainstream retailers. Meat may also be a better deal, especially high-end meat like lamb and steaks. Next is drugs, both prescription and non-prescription. And gas can also be a better deal, as well as giving you the ability to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Bottom line, you can get some screaming deals at warehouse stores, but the same rules apply here as they do everywhere else. You're going to save the most money by looking at your unit pricing and buying store brands. And for heaven's sake, don't come in for toilet paper and leave with a flat screen TV. Want to learn more about how to save on just about everything you buy? Let's go to MoneyTalksNews.com and do a search for spending. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
All right, well, coming up on Sunrise, we are going to San Diego for a preview of Comic-Con. I want to see the best costumes they have to offer, and we'll let you guys see as well.
But first, here's what's coming up on Today.
Good morning. Coming up on a Thursday here on Today, we're going to have the latest on some breaking news. The search for a missing, crowded Air Algerie flight that suddenly vanished from radar. Also ahead, the Arizona mom charged with child abuse for leaving her kids in the car while she interviewed for a job speaks out in an exclusive live interview. Plus, Natalie and Jenna set off on another Today Takes Off adventure. Their destination is Cooperstown, New York. It's famous for the Baseball Hall of Fame, but it has a lot more to offer. All that and a worldwide exclusive. The stars of 50 Shades of Grey will be here, and they have brought along a first look at their highly anticipated movie. We've got that and much more ahead as we get started on a Thursday edition of Today.
All right, welcome back. San Diego's Comic-Con International 2014 officially opens to fans today. More than 130,000 fans are expected to attend the event.
And Stephen Luke has a sneak peek of what to expect.
And Alex, our director, just a quick note, she makes her own costumes and she's actually going to Comic-Con. So if I can get her to maybe show a picture when she comes back next week, I think that would be cool. That way you can see, you know, that we have other talents besides the news.
Yeah, she is very talented.
Right. So do you have any favorite comics?
Superman. I always picture myself as Lois Lane.
Okay, I'm a Wonder Woman type of girl. Let's go ahead and throw this to the story.
First show, we had about 300 people. We were in the basement of the Grant Hotel on Broadway.
45 years later, David Glanzer and Comic-Con are welcoming 130,000 people.
It's games, it's interactive multimedia. There's so much going on now. Anything having to do with pop culture, this is the epicenter of it for the next few days.
And not just inside the convention center either, where lines are already forming. Outside, huge signs cover high-rises. Photo ops are everywhere, like the NBC Blacklist exhibit, which took over a local fish restaurant.
There's a lot of different companies that are involved with Comic-Con, but NBC has proven to be a really good friend to Comic-Con, and we're grateful for that.
At Comic-Con, attendees know they need to keep a lookout for celebrities.
We might see Jeff Bridges here, Selma Hayek might be stopping by, but I think there's going to be some unannounced guests also.
But without celebrity status, last-minute passes could be tough. By tough, I mean almost impossible.
No, unfortunately, we're sold out. You know, there may still be some radio stations giving away free passes.
This year's convention sold out in 90 minutes a few months back. Luckily, every year it gets bigger, spilling out into the gas lamp where you don't need a pass.
One of the things that you'll see a lot more of this year is outside activations like this one here. We don't have enough space anymore within the convention facility, so we're moving off-site a little bit.
One last question. If he had 1 hour to spend during Comic-Con's 700 hours of programming choices, what would David Glanzer do?
I would probably be at the quick draw panel. It's a panel where people throw out stuff and they do drawings, and it's a lot of fun. I would spend my hour there.
From downtown San Diego, Stephen Luke, NBC News.
All right, so all you comic book fans out there, make sure you send us pictures. We want to see the costumes that you wore to Comic-Con this weekend, and maybe we'll show them next week on the show. But we'll be right back with more after this. Stay with us.
I had nothing to say. I'm glad you
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Tony Altman did call within his time allowed. He's actually working this morning out at YPG, so he has a lot of friends and family. He said his phone was blowing up, but he appreciates everybody that was calling him to tell him to call in to win his free $100 in free gas. So I think everybody watching wants to know when's the next chance. That's next Thursday. It's our last chance. So if you haven't put your name in the pot quite yet, you still have a chance to win that $100 in free gas. All you have to do is go to one of the 3 locations of Ed Whitehead Tire Pros. One's here at 4th Avenue where we're at right now. One's out on 32nd Street. There's also one out in Welton. And the other chance, if you can't make it to one of the locations, is go to kymade.com. We have a banner on the top of the screen. Make sure you sign up there, and we'll put those submissions in for you right into the drum like we did this morning. Let's get out and check out what's going on outside. It's very warm out there. We all know yesterday we broke record heat. 117 was our record high that we broke. The normal record was 116 for us here in the Southwest. Outside right now, looking pretty warm out there compared to where we should be in the morning hours. I mean, it is just hot this morning. I woke up and it was 96 degrees in the car, so that tells you how warm it is. It's going to remain warm throughout our afternoon today. We could maybe break another record high today. 91 degrees outside right now for us here into the Yuma area. Humidity not bad quite yet, but you see the clouds just out to the east of us over the foothill mountains. That's kind of the monsoon trying to make its way past that dry barrier that we've been having the last few days, and it's going to make it here by tomorrow into Saturday and Sunday. Best chance of rain showers. El Centro, we're at 89 degrees, humidity at 24%, dew point at 48 degrees, and southeast winds at 7 miles an hour. And then for us around the region, 89 into Vegas, mid-90s into Phoenix this morning, up into the 60s into Flagstaff. They have a chance of storms this afternoon, 70 into San Diego, and 68 out in Los Angeles. Across the country, the northern tier, it looks spectacular. And I heard a lot of folks saying that it doesn't even feel like they're having a summer. Well, congratulations. We envy you right now. 65 in Minneapolis, Chicago, 59 this morning. Cool temperatures for them. The southern tier, nonetheless, it's just hot, and it is humid down to Dallas, down to New Orleans, into Atlanta and Miami. So they're seeing the humidity down there. We're going to start seeing here this weekend, starting tomorrow. Local radar and satellite, not too much going on. A few clouds out to the east of us in the Yuma County, out towards Tacna and Welton. So you guys get to wake up to a nice-looking sunrise this morning. Regional satellite and radar, there's a few of those showers just to the east of us over towards the Phoenix metro area early on this morning. Those will dissipate a little bit and then eventually start picking back up the next couple of days. You can kind of see that barrier being broken as far as the dry air. So if you look at the water vapor map, it shows the humidity kind of sweeping underneath, bringing in that southeast wind. That's that monsoon flow. And it's kind of pushing that dry air up into central portions of California. So that barrier being broken, and we're going to have a chance of those storms moving in as we head into the weekend. National satellite and radar. There's a little bit of activity over towards the eastern seaboard, out into the Virginias of West Virginia and Virginia, and then also the Intermountain West seeing the monsoon rain as well, and up into the Dakotas and Montana seeing some rain early on this morning. Today for us here into the Yuma area, yes, it's going to be hot. Temperatures near 115 this afternoon, 87 degrees out.
Characters. Window washers dressed as superheroes surpassed children through their windows.
The hospital staff joined the fun and dressed in superhero costumes, too. Now, the children got to wave and fist bump the superheroes through the glass. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man were all there. That is so cute. That's just awesome. In the spirit of Comic-Con, too. Mm-hmm. And one more time before we leave, I just want to say happy birthday to Lisa Perez. I'm not sure if she was able to hear me when I said happy birthday to you, but that's from your family and the Perez children. All right, so it's superhero day, I guess. We should have been in our Wonder Woman and Lois Lane costumes, and we should have, got on the windows maybe and washed them, cleaned them. Mm-hmm. See who was excited about that?
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll show up as our alter egos, and we'll see if you guys can guess who we are. How about that?
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember that the Back to School Rodeo is this Saturday. It's at the Yuma Civic Center from 8 a.m. until noon. It is a free event. Molly will be there. I will probably stop by, so make sure you guys come out and say hi to us.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.